We're back on Tradio Thursdays edition, and this is the Born to Fly edition. We have Asa Cosby in the house with us, a flight instructor. And Asa, we're going to shift the conversation to some of your retirement plans. You just retired, and yet you are chasing another dream. You had the dream as a young man of flying. You achieved that, and you help other people achieve that. But now you're on a mission. And this is a cool mission that kind of ties a little bit more to the metaphor of flying, because he's not going to be flying. This guy's going to be hiking.
That's it.
Tell us about it.
Well, I got a crazy idea. It's something me and my daughters talked about for many years. We always had we kind of wanted to always do the Appalachian Trail. We talked about it. This is a big trail that goes north to south on the East Coast. And once I got up here in the Kern Valley and really got to learn the area, I realized we got a monster trail in our backyard.
Man, do we.
This trail is called the Pacific Crest Trail. A lot of people call it just the PCT.
Uh-huh.
It starts in Campo, which is on the California-Mexican border.
Okay.
And it goes all the way up to the Washington-Canadian border.
All right.
2,650 miles.
2,650 miles.
That's it.
Oh, man.
So it's a big one. And, everybody dreams of, starting and finishing.
Yeah.
And that's what it is. It's a dream. We're going to chase that dream, and we're going to see if we can do it.
Heck yeah.
We are lucky right here at the Walker Pass on the 178
Right.
is where the Pacific Trail crosses our valley. And
right at the summit.
right at the top.
I have just a very quick story. I have one memory of getting on horseback. My grandpa owned property and a house up there, and we spent a lot of time in Walker Pass as a kid. And he put us on horseback, myself and my brother Cody, whom you know, and we're going up the trail, and we get way back up in there, and Cody's horse starts bucking on this trail and bucks him up and over, and now he's hanging on under the neck, right, while this horse is running up the PCT trail. So I didn't have personally, that was my memory. We camped up there. I'd never hiked it, but I remember thinking, man, I watched people, and I've watched people drop down to what used to be called James Station
Right.
in South Lake, where I grew up, and picking up supplies, and I always was fascinated by the fact that anybody would want to walk 2,600 miles.
Yeah.
And then we got a guy here who's
That's-
gonna do it,
we're
and he's gonna
try.
do it. And this is a retirement thing.
Yep.
So
Yep.
tell us about the origination of the dream. Like, where did
Well-
this kick off from?
Well, I mean, it actually started when I was a child. I was a scout growing up, and we were in a backpacking troop.
Okay.
So all the time, we, probably every month, they would take us on a weekend hike to the local mountains, and then once a year, the scout team would take us up into the high Sierras.
Yeah.
So for about 5 years straight, when I was a Boy Scout, we would hike the high Sierras.
Yeah.
So we'd do 10-day trips. So I've got about 50 days up there hiking.
Okay.
Now, of course, a long time ago.
Yeah.
But it's always been a dream to be able to get back on the trail and go hike. And I think I took the biggest trail there is.
You did take the biggest trail there is, and you're pushing 65.
Yeah, 65 years old.
65. So out there in Tradio land, we have a 65-year-old gentleman who is about to set foot on that PCT trail. You're taking off, is it April 8th? April 8th.
April 8th. And I'm not just leaving the couch. Now, I started training on my birthday.
Yeah.
So on my 64th birthday, I started training. So I've been hiking this whole area back behind my house in Weldon.
Yeah.
I do 10 miles a day, not every day, but my usual hike is about 10 miles. I've hiked up and down the Whiskey Flat Trail.
Yeah.
Quite a bit, so I'm real familiar with that trail also.
Awesome.
And I've been doing a lot of videos. I kind of slowed down on the videos because they're seeing the same thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
But we're going to pick back up here once I hit that trail.
So we're going to plug this a number of times because I think it's going to be cool for those of you out there who are familiar with YouTube. It's a huge platform that's basically taken over television for a lot of people. And you can follow Asa's journey by looking or searching for U-Haul Hiker.
That's it. Yep.
U-Haul. I just subscribed to it today.
Okay.
And then we're going to start pushing that out there because Faye and I are going to track the progress. And I'm assuming that as you're cruising along, you're going to maybe try to, as best as you can, you're going to be out of service a ton of the time, I'm guessing.
Well, we have this thing we carry on our backpack. It's called an inReach.
Oh.
And it's manufactured by Garmin, one of the leaders in navigation, and so we're going to be carrying that. It's satellite supplied, so I'll be able to communicate with my family, and you will be able to track me on the trail.
Right on.
Any given time, you just bring it up and find out where I'm at.
Yeah, that's awesome. So let's take it back to your birthday and your Mount Whitney experience, and kind of what you're hoping the journey will look like as you cruise along the trail. Because you were saying you're hoping to summit or get to Mount Whitney sometime around your birthday?
Right. So my plan is, of course, to leave on April 8th. Based on my current hiking speed, I'm only about 2 miles a day.
Okay.
So it's going to take probably about 60 days for me to get to Walker Pass.
All right.
When I get to Walker Pass, I'll come home for a week or so, and then I'll go back to the trail. The ultimate goal is to get to Lone Pine by, say, June 30th.
Okay.
Resupply, get back on the mountain, and start my trek to Mount Whitney. Mount Whitney, as we all know, is our highest mountain in the continental U.S.
I honestly did not know that until you just said that.
Is the highest mountain on the continental, counting our 48 states.
Okay.
So we don't count Alaska and Hawaii.
Yeah.
And so it's 14,505 feet.
Okay.
And my goal is to conquer that mountain on my 65th birthday.
All right.
So that'd be about 51 years since the first time I did it.
That is cool. So what about your hiking journey from, around 14 or something like that? You said you hit that summit at Mount Whitney.
Yeah.
During your career, I'm assuming you didn't have a whole lot of time to hike.
Well, that's how life goes. You know, we meet our loved one young. I met my wife when I was 20 years old.
Okay.
19 years old, and pretty much got married right away, still with the same woman. Our anniversary, I'm going to plug that, is March 9th. That's going to be
awesome.
45 years.
Right on.
With the same woman. I love her. And, life gets in the way. You have children and raise children. And, of course, I started a business when I was 29 years old, a general contracting business. As you know, I build gas stations.
Yep.
And really was not able to get on the trail much during the growing through my life.
Right.
And but again, like I said earlier, my mother said, "Don't let dreams go."
Yeah.
So it's always been a dream, and I'm going to chase it.
Yeah, that's awesome. So the training journey, we say often in our world, like, start small but start now. Seek progress, not perfection. I would imagine starting to get back into hiking, there was like some stages and some gains and some things you're working toward. Tell us about the training to get to a level of readiness that you want to be at.
Right. Well, what I did is I started very small. Like I said, I started on my birthday last July. And I think my very first hike was just me walking behind my house. I think it was with my wife.
Okay.
We were walking the neighborhood and was able to walk to the store over there in South Lake and home, and it probably almost killed me.
Yeah.
It's 2 miles and almost died.
Huffing and puffing.
And from there, I just took it up. I kept walking about just walking without a pack every day, just around the neighborhood, and until my calves stopped hurting.
Yeah.
Even just walking around the neighborhood that first week or two with nothing on my back, you definitely feel it in your legs.
Oh, I can imagine.
And then that goes away, and you just continue.
Yeah.
And I started up in the miles. I started getting about 5 miles with then just a little day pack on my back with water. No weight.
Okay.
And then just consistently start gradually building that miles and building the weight.
Yeah.
And then I started buying gear.
Yeah.
A lot of research, a lot of reading, a lot of things to figure out what people are hiking with.
Right.
Back in the 70s, back in long time ago, when people hike the trail like this, they're carrying 70 pounds.
Wow.
Yes.
That is Faye times 2.
Yes. They didn't have light gear back then. They just packed it on, And nowadays, in the 21st
Technologies
century,
and
and technology and all this lightweight equipment, that's why I've been able to get it down to now a 22-pound pack.
22 pounds.
22
You'll be able
pounds.
to, and including or excluding food or what?
No food, no
Okay.
water.
Okay.
Okay, so that is just what they call my base weight.
Okay.
And then we got to add food and water to the top of that, and food, they typically about 2 pounds per day for food.
Okay.
And water, people don't think about it, it's heavy.
Heavy.
It's
8 pounds per gallon.
which
Mhm.
we carry liter bottles, and so it's 2.2 pounds per liter.
Okay.
And a typical through hiker, depending on the stretch of water, is anywhere from 3 to 6 liters of water.
Yeah.
So it could add up, and
That can-
your pack weight will easily jump above 40 pounds.
Wow. So I'm just kind of going where the conversation's taking us, and questions are popping up for me. If questions pop up for you, you just jump on this mic here. But food, like what's the proper, or what do the people recommend or say you should be doing in the way of food?
There is lots of variables on food. A lot of people take the dehydrated food.
Okay.
There's companies, the big manufacturers, the dehydrated food. I think you've seen it.
Absolutely.
Like Peak, and I think there's another one, Mountain House.
Yep. Just add water kind of thing.
You add water, you boil it, you let it hydrate for 10 minutes, and eat it right out of the bag. I've tried it.
But you could bring ice cream with you.
And a long extension cord.
Yeah.
But so primarily, you'll eat a lot of ramen, a lot of pasta. So you mac and cheese,
Yeah.
Knorrs.
Knorrs. Which is like bouillon.
Yeah, with a little Knorrs pack, they're just pasta. You add water, you let it hydrate. A lot of tuna packs.
Yeah.
A lot of chicken packs.
Yeah.
You get creative in the backcountry. You get a tortilla, you put a chicken pack in there, a squeeze mayo, maybe a little bit of peanut butter, wrap it up, and
Good to go.
a lot of protein.
Yeah,
Let's
so
go.
high protein, and I'm sure you're trying to hit a high carb level because
High carb level, yeah. So my daily right now, when I do my training hikes, I'm burning about 3,500 calories when I do a 10-mile hike.
that's a lot.
Get 3,500 calories back in your body during
Yeah.
the day is
a challenge.
2,000 or 2 pounds.
Yeah.
So a lot of little things, a lot of breaks, a lot of Snicker bars,
Yeah.
a lot of little things like that.
Yeah.
They typically say every 2 hours you want to eat something,
Yep.
get something,
Keep
because
your
you're
energy
burning
up.
them out. Yeah.
So along the way, I'm sure there's a lot of resources out there to guide you, but how do you plan your pickups for food? How do you plan water and all of those kinds of things? Because think about, for me, I think back to the first people who set this trek out and what they had to discover. They're probably like shooting squirrels and stuff, trying to picking pinion nuts and doing the whole trick.
So again, with technology, there's we're all used to our phones and the electronics we have available to us now. There is an app. It's called Far Out.
Okay.
Far Out is an app that provides trails all over the country.
Okay.
So the PCT, the Pacific Trail, is on one of them,
Yeah.
and in that app, it identifies, of course, the mile markers. It is a GPS source driven app.
Okay.
So it overlays the trail right onto a map on our phone. You
Right.
basically follow the magenta line like you do in your car.
Awesome.
And then also on that map, it's got water stops.
Okay.
It's got, and this is all user friendly. So as you're hiking and you cross water, you get on there and you text on the app what kind of water source there is.
Okay.
Hey, the water's bad, or hey, it's just a cow trough. It's green.
Yeah.
You might want to
Don't
avoid
drink it.
So and then it has all the towns. It has where resupply stops are. Now, a lot of people on this trail, they send packages. So if you hike 4 days, like in my instance, if I was to hike 40 days, at the next town, I could have my wife or my sister or somebody send me a package.
Right.
But what we find out in all the stuff I've read is these packages that you plan ahead of time, you think you like it today,
Yeah.
but after you're 300-400 miles in, you're like,
I'm not so
the
into this.
same package. So my plan is to resupply on the trail.
Nice.
So typically about every 3 to 4 days, you're crossing a trail. You drop off the trail. You stick out that thumb that we were born with.
Yeah.
And hitchhike to the closest town.
That's awesome.
And
how many times have you hitchhiked in your life?
It's been a while.
Totally different circumstances, probably.
I'm sure it is. There's a lot about hitchhiking too. Always have a buddy with you.
Yeah, no kidding.
Of course, like I said, that Garmin InReach has an SOS button.
Yeah.
So if you're out on the trail, you get hurt, you can push it. They're going to come and find you.
Yeah, they can even send life flight, I think.
Oh yeah, definitely, 100%.
Which is crazy cool.
And when you buy that Garmin app and you subscribe to it, that's pretty much includes it.
Yeah.
So it's an insurance. If I slide down a snowy hill and break a hip, hit that button, there's going to be a helicopter and a rescue team coming.
How
to get
incredible the different, not to take away from the feat of what it is that you're doing, but the advancements in technology. If you were doing this 40 years ago or something like that, you're just going to be taken off and your wife's just going to be hoping to see you at the other end of the trail.
That's it.
And that's like the pioneering side of that is just incredible. So, but the advancement today of being able to press a button and that would minimize some of the fear, some of the risk, that's being taken to get out there. But I do want to, at some point when we come back after a break, I want to talk a little bit about some of those, those thoughts or concerns or things that you had to overcome in your mind, things you may even feel like you might encounter. Out there on the trail and some of those thoughts. But before we go to break, I want to make mention once again, this Saturday out at the Kern River Valley Airport from 10 to 2, there is, golly, Asa, tell me one more time what it's called.
It's the Kern Valley Aircraft Display Day.
Aircraft Display Day. So you get to check out airplanes, talk to pilots, enjoy a cool little community social time out there, and really just experience something that maybe out there you didn't know was something that was available. If you have young ones, I think it'd be awesome to get the young ones out there to check it out, because we got to keep the interest for flying alive. We got to fan the flames of dreams, and that's what we're talking about on today's Tradio program. So we're going to go ahead and take a break, and we'll be right back. We're back on Tradio. This is the Thursday final edition of This Week in the Born to Fly edition of Tradio. We have special guest Asa Cosby in with us, who is a flight instructor, also setting sail on a dream that he's had for many years of the Pacific Crest Trail, walking 2,650 2,550 miles. And so it's a pretty impressive feat. We have a few more minutes to ask Asa a few more questions. Faye just brought up something great about water. I'd love to hear about the maybe a little bit about the filter, and then what you have to actually cook on the trail and how that works for you.
Right. So the water, we have to treat it all. As good as it looks, as clear as it looks, you never know if there's some type of bacteria in it. So what we do is we carry a kit, a water filtration kit. It comes, it's a 1 liter squeeze bag that hooks up to a little filtering system, and that's called a Sawyer filtering system.
Yeah.
So basically, you'll get your 1 liter bag, put it in the creek, put it in the lake, put it in the cow trough, get your water, and then squeeze the water through the filter into your 1 liter bottle.
Okay.
And that'll become your drinking water. That bag that you use is always considered a dirty bag.
Yeah.
So you never use that to drink out of. Once
Right.
you've contaminated that bag, that's it.
Yeah.
As an emergency, we do have water filtration or water purification tablets. So in case your soil was to freeze and break, on an emergency, you can drop a couple tabs into your water, and that will then kill the bacteria that would be in your water.
That's awesome.
Some people use that as 100%. They don't
Okay.
use the filter system. But me, I'm heavy enough.
Okay.
U-Haul hiker.
Right. That's what U-Haul hiker. Yeah.
That's what's behind the U-Haul hiker. Like I said, I get a lighter tent. I put another piece of equipment in. I continue to just bring the pack weight up. So I don't. I'm going to carry one little packet of the water tabs, the purification tabs, only for an emergency use.
Right.
And that's pretty much how we do our drinking water.
Yeah.
The Far Out app tells us where water is down the trail, so you don't have to just load 6 liters of water in your pack if you see that you're going to cross water in 6 miles.
Yeah.
Basically the average hiker drinks about 1 liter per 10 miles.
Okay.
Based on the temperature outside.
Yeah.
Of course, if it's crossing the desert south of Tehachapi, you're going to drink a lot more.
Yeah.
And that's one of the most grueling parts of the whole trail.
Yeah, I was going to ask that too, like where it gets brutal.
Acton, California, which is the north side of the San Bernardino Mountains,
Right.
to the Tehachapi Mountains.
Right.
There's no water. It's a desert, and you're walking.
Man.
And a lot of people try to do that at night, but we'll see how it goes.
Yeah.
Cooler temp, less water.
Yeah.
But I know there's a cache. We call them water cache at the Kelso Valley, where the PCT crosses Kelso Valley.
Right.
A lot of people go out there and put water, so kind of save us.
Yeah.
And but there's some places.
Yeah, that's
and
pretty awesome. Honestly, we have just about a minute or so left in the show. Faye, you had something that you wanted to say real quick. Do you have something else for us?
Yes. I had a question. Do you, obviously you probably do you wear, thinner clothes or thicker clothes? Or, what kind of clothes do you wear?
Well, most of my trail clothes are basically just shorts. So I'll be wearing shorts all the time with a real lightweight, thin shirt. Okay, so weight's the whole thing. You say, oh, it's just clothes, but clothes are weight on your body.
Yeah.
So we wear a real lightweight clothes that are water wicking, so they dry real quick. So if you got to stomp through a creek or a river or something, and as you continue to walk, they do dry out fast.
Yeah.
And so that's primarily what you're doing. I'm bringing extra clothes. Like I got what we call our base layer. So I got a wool base layer. That's my pajamas. So I'll be wearing that at night underneath my quilt. I have one extra shirt. I got some zip-off pants, meaning they turn into shorts if I zip them off. An extra pair of skivvies, and 2 pairs of socks.
And 2 pairs of socks.
That's it. That's all I'll be wearing.
So, Asa, we've just got a few more moments here, and I want to plug once again. U-Haul Hiker is the name of the channel on YouTube.
Yes, it is.
And they can follow your journey.
Yep.
And we appreciate what type of updates might you be bringing along the way?
If everything goes.
Yeah. No, we're good. Yeah.
If everything goes well, my sister is my editor. She'll be probably a week behind me.
Yeah.
Editing and posting daily.
Awesome. Well, thank you for joining us on the program today.